Hello, I'm Mike Gordon. Welcome to Perfect Playthroughs, where our objective is to accomplish everything the game has to offer. This is not quite a weekend rental per se, it's just something I decided to do. And yeah, it's WWF Super WrestleMania, and looking at the screen is kind of depressing, considering recent events. R.I.P. Hulk Hogan. So what are we gonna do? Well, perfect playthrough conditions for WWF Super WrestleMania only requires us to play WWF Championship and beat it. 1-1 is just a 1v1 match. Tag team, same thing, except you choose two wrestlers on each team. And then you have the Survivor Series. Last man standing wins, as all 8 wrestlers come into the ring one after the other. The coup de grace is, of course, WWF Championship. And the objective to achieve a perfect playthrough is to beat the game. You can't beat the game on any other mode other than WWF Championship. Now, having said that, I'm only going to try to beat the game with one of the 8 wrestlers in this game because there really is no storyline and all 8 wrestlers play exactly the same. You have first up, Ultimate Warrior. That's kind of an interesting theme song, to say the least. I don't think the Genesis necessarily does it justice, though. Then you have Ted DiBiase. What's his name? I don't know. I like the that theme definitely sounds very familiar. It's almost like Bad Boys, Bad Boys, almost. Shawn Michaels' theme is kind of rocking. One of the few good themes on the Gen. Good renditions of a wrestler's theme song. Not great, but it's pretty good. British Bulldog's theme is the British National Anthem. Yeah, it definitely sounds like the British National Anthem, but it also sounds a bit off-key. I don't know what to think of that. I don't really know what to think of that. Papa Shango, he looks pretty cool. Like a voodoo witch doctor. This thing's not quite bopping, but it's definitely a nice chilling rendition of a theme song that's probably much more chilling in real life. Jeez, how many of these guys have died over the years? No, Randy Savage is no longer with us. Or in our Shyster's theme. Is that really his theme? Yeah, definitely the worst one. But man, I know Randy Savage is dead, and I think Pomp and Circumstance? The graduation theme? That's his theme. That's Randy Savage's theme song? You know, really? that's his theme song, his Pomp and Circumstance. It's like if Fantasia 2000 had a Sega Genesis video game adaptation. That's what this theme song sounds like. Ugh. I don't like the last couple ones. Alright, let's go. Come on, let's hurry on. And here's the criminal crop. The feature presentation as it were. Hulk Hogan himself. The man, the face of WWF wrestling. So, probably not the best rendition of his theme song by far, but it's definitely a boppin' one, and I would definitely say it's one of the 3 best wrestling themes, so we're going with Hulk Hogan. From Venice Beach, California, weighing 303 pounds, the immortal Hulk Hogan. From San Antonio, Texas, weighing 240 pounds, Shawn Michaels. Both may they rest in peace. I'm pretty sure Shawn Michaels is no longer with us as well. Now, gameplay, so yeah, I'm sort of honoring the dead and the recently deceased here. You know, we're still going through what our mom had left behind back at Christmas, so I definitely understand that. And I'm basically just trying to play this game, trying to see if I could maybe corner Shawn Michaels outside and time it out. If I could consistently get this running and time wrestlers out like this, I could probably beat all 8 campaigns in record time. That is if I was attempting to chase the campaigns, but I can't. Also feels like the hit detection of this game is basically non-existent. And oh yeah, there is so much input lag in this game that's ridiculous. And Hulk Hogan, it confuses Shawn Michaels because they have near identical sprites. Now to pin the wrestler down, you have to press B and C at the same time while you're hovering over their body. Here is your winner, Hulk Hogan. And Hulk Hogan doesn't say a word. Venice Beach, California, weighing 303 pounds, the immortal Hulk Hogan. His opponent from Washington, D.C., weighing 248 pounds, Erwin R. Shyster. And as I said, this is probably the worst theme in the game by far. I have literally no idea what that was supposed to be. Was that supposed to be like horse tubes? Like trying across off of Pebble Road? You know, like the British are coming, like Paul Revere's British are coming. I do think there was a wrestler named Revere. So really, the only thing that's really worth doing is punching and kicking. And then if they're on the ground, maybe stomping, because those are the moves that are easy to perform. They connect more consistently. There's really no startup or in lag that you need to worry about. However, you kind of have to time your presses, or else you have to deal with a lot of missed inputs. You can't pin someone down if they still have health remaining, by the way. I mean, I guess you could try if you're playing against a human player. There's no idea how to get up off the ground. But against the CPU, you have to reduce their health bar all the way down to 0 in order to pin them down. And of course, we won round 2. Venice Beach, California, weighing 303 pounds, the immortal Hulk Hogan. And his opponent from Leeds, England, weighing 270 pounds, the British Bulldog. From here on, the game gets way harder, and I had to get a bit more involved with the emulator that I'm playing this game. I technically could have classified this as weekend rentals, but I'm not going to because it's already in the middle of the weekend. It's a little late for that. But the other reason is because I'm probably not planning on doing another weekend rental, so to speak, this weekend. I know there's also Royal Rumble to play, but that's not really a perfect playthrough. WWF Royal Rumble and Raw don't really have perfect playthrough conditions. They have a plethora of different difficulty settings, of different play modes to play. You have difficulty settings that you can make adjustments to.
2, 3.
You could play by yourself against the CPU or with a friend. Those games are loads of fun. Those are definitely fun party games, but there's really nothing else there. And now our opponent, weighing 260 pounds, the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. I have no idea if that's his name. I don't even know if he's still alive. So many of these wrestling icons from back in the day are no longer with us. Now, while I'm wrestling DiBiase, I will say that there are only 3 wrestlers in common. There is a Super Nintendo version of this game that was published by LJN. This version is only published by Acclaim, the Genesis version. But in all cases was developed by Flying Edge. Stupid DiBiase. So the Super Nintendo version does not have this mode at all, so it's basically just a party game with no perfect playthrough conditions. The only difference between the Genesis and Super Nintendo version, as far as a gameplay perspective, is that they gave every wrestler their own unique finishers that are really difficult to pull off and really are not worth trying to pull off. But only in the Genesis version. I only did it once with Hulk Hogan the entire run, and I wasn't really impressed.
1.
But the other different, because otherwise all the wrestlers fight identically to one another. But the other difference is, of course, the mode that we're playing right here, which allows us to achieve a perfect playthrough. There are also, well, I'll continue on after this bit. We are facing Randy Savage here from Sarasota, Florida, weighing 245 pounds. Macho Man Randy Savage. As I was saying, there's only 8 fighters, there's 8 wrestlers in the Genesis version and 10 in the Super Nintendo version. However, combined, it's really only like 15 wrestlers between the 2 versions, as there are only 3 people in common in both versions. Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage, I do know, are 2 of them. And I forgot who the other one is. I think it was DeBastio or something like that. I don't remember his name. Every other wrestler in the Super Nintendo version is otherwise completely different from the Genesis version. Am I gonna do a perfect playthrough of the Super Nintendo version? No. There are no perfect playthrough conditions of the Super Nintendo version. And due to just how uniform everybody play handles and controls, I don't really have, and because there's no storyline at all, even though wrestling is well known for their storylines, I guess you were supposed to make them up yourself with family and friends. Yeah, and our next opponent is the Voodoo Witch Doctor himself, from parts unknown weighing 3 pounds, Papa Shango. So, yeah. Because of the uniform, how everybody just plays exactly the same, and there's no in-game storyline to differentiate these campaigns even a tiny bit, make it worth playing all of them. I'm only gonna beat the game with the Hulkster himself, the immortal Hulkster, as it were, though not quite so immortal in real life. Even the most macho of men can escape death. Mr. Wolf. So right now, what am I trying to do this? Pin him down? Okay, got his health to 0. Now, as I said, the Genesis version only has 8 wrestlers, meaning, even though this is tournament mode, so to speak, we are literally just wrestling the other wrestlers in the game. Immortal Hulk Hogan versus parts unknown weighing 275 pounds, the Ultimate Warrior. And I think this is yet another wrestler who is no longer of the living. The difference here is he's got face paint. So, after playing through this game, I finally found a good pattern that I would like to, in order to keep the so-called Ultimate Warrior in check. It should be noted that yes, the AI is kind of stupid, which kind of makes the controls in this game all the more egregious. In just how stiff it is to do anything. Alright, cat is caterwauling. Let me finish this guy off, and then I'm gonna tend to my cat's needs. And that is literally the game. Give it up for the final time for the Hulkster himself. The new WWF champion is Hulk Hogan. So yeah, that's it for WWF Super WrestleMania. It's okay, nothing special. I hope you appreciate this little tribute to Hulk Hogan, though. So, with all that said, leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. I greatly appreciate it. With all of the way, once the credits roll, I will be signing out.